Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Kalaye Sundarakaram Sadaika Priyadarshanam. Ajnana Nashakam Devam Sadgurum Muralidharam. Yasya Smarana Matrena Jikhvayam Vardate Swayam. Mahamantra Stambhajami Muralidhara Deshikam. Premamritam yo Murali Ninadaihi Shri Krishna Rupena Puravarsha. Adyapi soyam Muralidharakyo Pushnati Premna Bhuvanam Saharsham. Kirtite tu Mahamantre Tatra Virbhuya Takshanam. Suprasanno Bhavedyastam Premika Varadam Bhaje. Murali Mandita Karakamalam Munijana Mohanam. Vyatyasta Padam Vanamala Darinam. Prema Bhakta Mandala Nitya Kirtitam. Premika Varadam Ashrayeham. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Pranamo Dukkha Shamanaha. Tam Namami Harim Param. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. It's a delight to meet you again in yet another episode of Answers and Beyond. It is by the boundless grace of Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Maharanyam Sri Sri Muralidhara Swamiji. I've been blessed with this wonderful opportunity to do this satsang, and I thank you all for joining in and for taking the time to listen and be a part of this satsang. The question that we will take up today is one that was asked by a friend in Chennai. This is how the question goes. I have a friend who is a regular in satsangs. He has very firm belief in the words of his Guru, God, and satsang. But I do find that many things that he does in life, in day-to-day life, are risky maneuvers. And when I tell him about it, he says that God is there. He will take care of me. I'm not worried. It sometimes makes me wonder if my faith in God, Guru, and Satsang is not strong enough. Can you please elaborate on this? And this question, friends, is a very relevant question. And to dwell on the answer to this question would certainly help every one of us. It would clarify many doubts that we have, as a result of which we get confused at times when life takes different turns, when things happen that we did not expect to. So it makes perfect sense to try and look at the answer from different angles. Swamiji would always say that the mind, this mystique mind that we've all been blessed with, can be very, very deceptive. It is the very nature of the manas. It can interpret things in a manner in which it would suit our convenience. it can take a stand that is 180 degrees opposite on 2 successive days, and it would still manage to justify it. That is the beauty of the mind. That's how it is. It can do it. It's very deceptive in that sense, and which is why it is always said that when it comes to important decisions, when it comes to spiritual progress, when it comes to such things, one should always look for the guidance of the Guru, the guidance of the scriptures, and the great ones. Because the mind can really deceive us. I will tell you how and connect it to the context of this question. Swamiji would always say that very often we read the biographies of great Mahatmas, great saints. Much as we are inspired by them when we hear about it and read about it, we are also awestruck to see how they were protected in many situations by God, by that Supreme Being, in the most amazing manner. But the problem is, we absorb things in a very selective manner. That's how the mind absorbs it, in a manner in which it would suit us, it would suit our convenience. And we do it even in the case of the life histories of Mahatmas. You would say, look what happened to that Mahatma, that great Bhakta. Was he not protected by Bhagwan? Did he not take care of him? Even when he fell off the cliff, Bhagwan made sure that he held him and he was safe. The same would happen to me as well. I would like to tell myself. But the problem is, I'm very selectively absorbing points from the life history of that Mahatma. What I conveniently ignore is the part where that Mahatma, that saint, or that great soul thought of nothing but God all the time. As it said, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. All the time. Held on to nothing else. Was in that sense of total surrender. There was nothing but God and God alone, and it encompassed them. And they were in that state, not for 1 hour, not for a weekend satsang, not during a retreat, but all the time, every single day, 24/7, that's all they did. Thought of God, nothing else. And when they were in that state, when nothing else came to their mind, God ensured that they are protected, ensured that His grace is that protective umbrella, that protective shield that is always there with them. This is the part that I conveniently ignore because of my immaturity. I would like to just ask here, if He is protected, how come I was not? When I fell off the cliff, how come nobody helped me? The same thing happened to that great soul. But what I choose to ignore is that he did nothing but Nama all the time. He thought of nothing but God all the time. He held on to nothing in this world except God and God alone. So naturally it happened that way. This is point number one. The second point is, none of those Mahatmas, none of those great ones put themselves at risk in the world knowingly. They were in such a state where they completely forgot where they were in such a state of trance, in such an elevated state that none of these things they were unaware of such things around them, and in that situation, God protected them. It's very important to bear that in mind. It's very different when I am fully aware of everything that's going on around me. I'm aware of the dangers, I'm aware of the risks. That's all I see. I think of God for a certain portion of the day, or a certain portion of the week, or a certain portion of the month, while I'm thinking about all of these things all the time. And then I choose to take a risk. Because of my carelessness, it's a very different scenario. This is something that we need to bear in mind. And most importantly, these Mahatmas were not bothered about the outcome. They did not really mind if their body had to perish that way. It was not on their mind. It so happened that God protected them, rescued them, and today we read about it in their Divya Charitras. The outcome did not matter to them, but to me the outcome matters, and that is really where I am. And so these are very two different scenarios. The reason why I say this is, when we look at something, we need to look at the whole picture. Otherwise, I will deceive myself. That's exactly why such thoughts come to us. Guru Maharaj would say very beautifully that there is the holy Ganga right before us. In all her glory. We know it's the Ganga, the holiest of the holy. To be there is a great fortune. To take a dip is the greatest bhagyam of all. But even if it is the Ganga, when we walk towards the river, we are very cautious with every step that we take. We hold on to the railings. We are careful to see if the steps are slippery. We are afraid if we would fall and the flood would take us away. Most of us, at least, are not at a state where, oh, it's the Ganga, it's fine. Even if I go and merge in her, that's my greatest fortune. None of us do that. We first try to protect our bodies. We try to protect ourselves. We hold on to the railing. We are very careful, even when we approach the holy Ganga, isn't it? Guru Maharaj would say this in order to remind us that that's how one should lead a life. Someone like myself. I should not think about myself as a great soul who has surrendered 100% to God and is ever drowned in his thoughts and know nothing else. I know exactly who I am. I know my state. And I need to safeguard myself every step along the way when I do things, when I lead my life. And that is important, you would say. I'm reminded of this incident that happened once, many years ago. Guru Maharaj was traveling down south, in South Tamil Nadu, and there were satsangs organized there. Guru Maharaj was in this particular town for a few days. Every evening there would be satsang for 2 hours. People would gather in thousands to be a part of the satsang, to chant Nama with Guru Maharaj and to have his darshan. There was this devotee, a bhakta, a very loving devotee of Guru Maharaj, who truly knows nothing but him. He lived in another village which is several hours away from this particular town by road. He came for the satsang every single day. He was always there. And Swamiji noticed that. He would never miss a satsang. One day Swamiji called him and asked him, "So I see that you're here every day. Are you staying here for these past few days? Because your village is quite far away." "No, I come every day." "How do you come every day? I see that you're here very early and by the time satsang gets over, it's very late. How do you manage? This devotee said that I have a motorbike, a two-wheeler, and I ride the two-wheeler from my village to this town every day. Swamiji looked very amazed at him. He had this expression like he's very impressed. Oh, really? You travel that far on your motorbike in order to see me? Really? This bhakta got very excited. He said, of course, I would do anything to come here and be a part of satsang. Every day I travel in my motorbike. And he added, in fact, it's been raining a bit, but still that did not stop me from coming, and I've been doing this every day. Swamiji then asked him, that must be a lot of effort. You must be very tired, isn't it? He said, no, I feel full of energy. The satsang and your darshan, they charge me up. Swamiji asked, where is your helmet? Do you wear it to protect yourself? He said, no, I don't have one. Swamiji was even more amazed. He said, really, you don't even have a helmet, and you're driving all the way for several hours in your motorbike, taking all these risks in order to come and be a part of satsang. Is that so? I am really amazed, Swamiji said. Apadiya, apadi ketta. Our friend was completely excited. Thought Swamiji was really impressed with his devotion. He said, yes, Swamiji, I am fearless. I am not afraid of anything. I don't feel tired one bit. I ride my bike because God is there with me. The divine name is there in my tongue. I'm always chanting the Hare Rama Maha Mantra. And I'm always thinking of you, my Guru. When all of this is there with me, why should I fear? I fear nothing. This is how I am. And here I am every single day. When he said that, things took a turn. The expression on Swamiji's face changed. Swamiji became very serious. He said, so you are telling me that you have put yourself to so much of risk because God is there with you, the divine names of God are there in your tongue, and your Guru will protect you always because you are thinking of Him. And so you have willfully exposed yourself to so much of risk. Imagine to ride a motorbike daily in a rainy season without wearing protective gear, a helmet, for hundreds of kilometers is definitely very risky business, isn't it? As opposed to using public transport, mass transport to come from that place to here, or to just stay in that place for the few days and be a part of satsang, which is safer. Swamiji said, do you know what is the true grace of God or the Guru or the divine name? You have misunderstood, my friend. God has given every one of us this great blessing. It is the greatest blessing of all. And the name of that great blessing is common sense. He has given us this ability to think, understand, analyze, and take the right decisions. Why do you think that this is not God's grace? This is truly His greatest blessing, His grace. Use it. Use it and take the right decisions, one that is safe. Had you done it, you would not have subjected yourself to such risky behavior. Never do it in life. never in the name of God, never in the name of Guru, never do it. And then Swamiji went on one step further and he said, do you know how a true devotee would conduct himself? One who chants the names of God, one who believes in Guru and God. Do you know how he would conduct himself? He would be extra careful to not get into trouble because of his rash behavior, because of the fact that he thought a certain way of doing it is more convenient. He would never do such things. He would be extra cautious. You know why? Because he would never want the world to say, this boy was going to satsang. He was always chanting the names. He believed in the Guru and God. Look what happened to him. He went on his motorbike and he met with an accident. He would not want the world to say that and bring disrepute to Guru, to God and the divine names. So he would be extra careful. That is how he would conduct himself, and that is the true mark of devotion. That is how one should understand God's blessing. It is the ability to use our common sense and make the right decisions at every point in life. That is how God resides with every one of us. The Guru resides with every one of us in the form of that ability. Always keep this in mind, Guru Maharaj told him. A very beautiful lesson, isn't it, for all of us? Just because I feel lazy to do something, or I feel that doing something is convenient, or I'm tempted and I decided to take a risk, and then I end up saying that God is there, Guru is there, the divine names are there, what will happen to me? That's really not how it works. Yes, God is there, Guru is there, the divine names are there, and they reside with me as that great blessing called as common sense buddhi, the ability to take the right calls. And to understand that in the right manner and to lead lives that would never bring disrepute to satsang, disrepute to Guru, disrepute to the divine names of God, is truly how one who loves all of this would conduct himself or herself. Thank you all. Thank you for your patience.